everyone, welcome back to my channel. Can you even believe that it is the 2025 to 2026 school year? If you're new here, my name is Amanda and I am a school psychologist. I have my bachelor's degree in psychology, and then I have an education specialist degree in child, family, and school psychology with a concentration in early childhood special education. I love working with the littles, so I'm so sorry if sometimes I talk like a preschool teacher because I used to be a preschool teacher. I am starting my 5th year practicing school psychology, which is wild to me. If I could look back and see me now, I would be just really proud of the amount of learning and growing that I have done over the years. So today I want to talk about some things that I have learned now going into my 5th year of practicing in the field of school psychology. I think it is such a unique field, and I think that more people need to learn about it. More people are showing interest in it. One of the most important things I've learned about myself in this process, and that I could recommend to others going into the field, is to focus on healing parts of you that you haven't yet. We work with students who oftentimes experience a lot of trauma, maybe abuse or neglect. Maybe they're experiencing food insecurity or housing insecurity. And if you have kind of these underlying childhood traumas that you haven't worked through in therapy, then you might be finding your levels of burnout increasing. Something that's not often talked about is the cognitive pressure and the cognitive load that school psychologists or other mental health professionals have when navigating supporting a student. A student might be experiencing a crisis, and you need to think on your feet about how to support them in that moment, how to keep them safe, and then you also need to be thinking about how to communicate this to their parents and the appropriate people at school to keep the student safe. In the back of your mind, it might be tied to something you experienced as yourself as a child, and that might be triggering, and you might not even know that you're feeling some kind of way about that. So that's why I think therapy is so important as a mental health professional. My graduate program saw that this is a very important part of being a mental health professional. So we were actually made to go to therapy during our counseling courses. It is important that you are doing the internal work so that you can show up and be the best provider you can be, but also just to take care of yourself and prevent burnout. Something else I think is really important in terms of beating and combating burnout is having a good community of school psychologists who you can go to ask consultation questions with, to ask, what do you think about this rating scale? What do you think about these scores? Currently, I am the only psychologist who works in my district/online school. And so I sometimes can feel like I'm a little bit on an island and who do I go to? But luckily I have some great friends from graduate school I can text. We have a little group text where we ask each other consultation questions at times. We live in different states, so I realized I don't really have people here in my state to ask state-based consultation questions with. And so you might want to take it upon yourself to go out there and join your state association. This past year, I joined my state association and became a board member, and then I also got appointed a chair of the advocacy committee for my state association, which is really exciting. So now I have a built-in group of professionals who are much more tenured than me. They have a lot more experience than me. I think I am the least experienced school psychologist on the board, and so it's really inspiring, and it also pushes me out of my comfort zone. I started by just observing the board meetings and listening to how the conversations go and listening to those topics, and then I asked to join the board when I saw that there was an election coming up, and so that's how I got involved, and now I get to be around people who I really admire and I really respect, and I think that is such a valuable group of people that I have right now. Another thing you are going to have to learn, and you're going to have to learn to do it well, but you're also going to have to learn how to do it well for you, because everyone is different with their organization, and it's something that changes over the years. But I think the more time you practice school psychology, the more you get in a groove of your organization, the more you develop and flesh out your report templates, which is something you want. You want a good, strong report template. You want solid rating scale descriptors. You want all of that ready for you so that it makes report writing easier and more fluid. And then you also want to have a great system for evaluations that you know like the back of your hand. If anyone is interested in learning about my evaluation process, maybe I can make a separate video. Keep on commenting things you want to know down below so that I can think of videos to make for you guys. But in general, I just have a system that I've developed over the years that makes my evaluations run smoothly, and you're gonna wanna find out what works best for you. For example, I have a parent email template that I create, and then each parent receives a kind of welcome email explaining how the evaluation process is gonna go with links to the developmental history. And then when I meet with the student for the first time, I do a really good thorough interview with the students. I try to make all of my testing sessions fun, and I just kind of follow a procedure that I'm comfortable with, and you will also be able to make yours as you learn and you grow as a school psychologist. Something that I think I'm also learning starting my 5th year is that it is very likely with any career, but especially in the education field, that we might have waves of loving our career and then waves of feeling like this is a lot. And I'm currently feeling really good about my career, but last year that was different. Last year I was struggling a lot, and I've had to learn through therapy. Again, I recommend going to therapy if you're having trouble with your career, just to talk about what those underlying issues are. I've learned that I really need to just kind of focus my attention on the positives of the career, which is working with the students. I love working with the kids. I love working with students. And sometimes I just need to let the negativity, there can be, if you know about the school environment, it's not always something that's easy for a sensitive person like me to be in. But I just need to stand strong in who I am. I need to stand strong in my education and know that I'm doing my best to support these students, and anyone else's opinion or frustrations towards me, I really have to learn to let it go and not let it bring me down. Because I've had times where I let it bring me down and let the career feel really sad for me. But I am just recentered that working with the kids makes my day. It makes me so happy, and I'm so lucky to have this career. I've said it on this channel before, and I'll say it again, burnout can look a lot like depression, so please get help if you're feeling that. I want to end on a happy note, just like something that I've learned about myself in the last 4 or 5 years practicing school psychology. If you asked me in undergrad if I would ever get giddy or excited about statistics in a bell curve, I would look at you like, no, you're wild. This career has turned me into somebody who just thinks data and numbers and where a student falls here, looking at their strengths and weaknesses is so fun and interesting to me. Grown in ways to now I love statistics. Who would have thought? I hope you leave some questions below. Tell me how you've been doing this school year. Tell me where you're at in your graduate program or your internship, and let me know how you're feeling. Maybe in the comment section below, can you put like the little book stack emoji or the little brain emoji? In my contacts, any of my friends who are school psychologists have a little brain emoji next to their name, and I don't know. So yeah, leave a book stack or a brain emoji to say hello. And I hope you have such a good school year, but hopefully I can get a video out to you soon. Bye.